My goodness, Brookie. Okay, looks like everything is working all right. Hello! Welcome to the channel. Just trying to see if I can get this window to switch. Yeah, he is a doof. You can tell we just got into the room because he's over there playing with this fox toy. Okie dokie. Get out of the way and chat. Yay, I figured out how to make the chat bigger so now I won't struggle as much. Woot! Yes, my foam came in, and that is why I can continue working on this project. You can see it laying there on the table. Play music. Yeah, I came in just in time, and I actually got it from a new place on Amazon called The Foamery. You can see this place, and they sent it just on time like they said they would. It's exactly the kind of foam that I need. So in case you guys ever want to buy some foam, check them out on Amazon. I will totally pimp them out. It's appropriate, right? Foamery. Okay. So we left off last time where I built a structure for the body out of L200 for those who were here. I do apologize, that video did not get saved. I didn't realize that I had the DVR deactivated. But I will be recording this one, just in case. Because there'll be a lot of construction going on. I'm really sad the last one didn't get recorded because we got a lot done that night too. But anyways, I got the body all done in L200. I got the chest cavity / hip area made in L200. This course, this piece of cardboard here is my main profile structure, so I'm keeping everything proportioned. And I got the legs and arms all figured out. I made adjustments off stream, so now everything is in the right proportions that I want. And I actually decided I'm going to make quite a strong structure for the legs. I was going to make them all out of L200, but now I have actually decided this long piece of board here is actually a type of PVC board. I actually use this for repairing some of the windows upstairs, or windowsills. And I'm going to actually cut this up to create the main bone structure for the puppet's legs, and I'm going to build the L200 and cushion foam around this. So that's going to get a little messy when I get to that point, but because I actually need to completely split that board down the middle, so there's only like 2.5-inch slats, because right now it's about 5.5, because otherwise it's too wide to use for the bones. But that's going to be like one of the second things I do. The first thing I want to do is finish foaming up the body, so I'm going to start patterning out the stomach area, going from the torso into the hip area, and getting that padded out with cushion foam so it's squishy. But yeah, that's my next process, and I'll start gluing that all together, and then I'll start actually working on building up these legs. Because right now I have everything in the right position for the legs to work properly. I'm pretty much going to go by where my actual holes are for my screws. I also bought I have a whole bag here full of bigger washers and longer screws. I'll be able to go through that thicker board because my current ones are very thin. Or very short, not thin. But yeah, I need a quick swig from all that talking. Well, considering, as much as I would love to praise TNT Cosplay for their Ava foam, they're one of my local distributors. They're actually local in Texas. They very rarely have all the foam. They sell out quite fast. So I'm left here kind of struggling because I can't go to them as a reliable resource whenever I need foam for a project. Like this one here is kind of time sensitive. I need to have it done for April. So if I would have gone and drove an hour to them and then they didn't have the foam, and they obviously don't have it online, then I would have been out of luck. I wouldn't have had anywhere to buy my foam from. So I'm definitely going to keep this foamery place in mind because I ordered it on Sunday and it came in this morning. So that's only 3 days to get my shipment. So that's awesome. But yeah, I had to actually back roll this. This came in a big giant roll. So I had to back roll it in order to get it to lay flat. Nom 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 nom. That's right, you tell that bone. And I gotta remember where I put my duct tape because I bought duct tape. Is this it right here? No, that's clay. That's not it. I bought duct tape. I don't know where I put the duct tape. I'm gonna move this board out of the way. Oh, that's why you're not playing at 20 anymore. You threw it in your trash can. Why'd you do that? Drop it off. Some trash. I've been kind of working on several different things this past week. I've been building new stands for my reptiles upstairs, so I kind of have a slew of boxes. But I do apologize for the background mess. I plan to clean out all that tomorrow. Just trying to find my duct tape. There it is. I also got a bunch of cling wrap. It is actually pallet wrap, which is going to be really awesome for working on this body. Take me far less time to do the patterning work that way. So instead of just slapping foam on this thing, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the torso and hip patterns. I'm going to actually create a pattern here going from the hip to the torso. And I'm going to actually make it out of, I haven't quite decided yet if I want to use blanket batting or if I want to use reticulated foam. I prefer using reticulated foam only for actual costumes because you need to have that airflow. I don't think I have any cushion foam in the right thickness. Let's see. No. Actually, that might work. Okay, I'm just gonna have a fun time trying to dig this out, that's all. Give me a minute. I gotta actually move some of this stuff out of the way so there's some more room. Don't have nearly enough room here. Cardboard and everything everywhere. Okay. Here, from ow. Love me, foam, love me. Come to me. Don't want that foam, I want this foam. squishing them. That was a poor decision on my part. I kind of figured that was going to happen. This is the rest of my L200 foam. I'll put this over here now. Lay down, Rune. I'm having a really hard time getting this thing to stand now. I might have to reinforce this leg. Tape something to it because it just keeps wanting to collapse. Okay, I think I got it. Alright. Where's the paper? Paper. I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time, kind of create a cavity, stuff with paper. Put a pin in that. I just want to take the leg off. Move that leg. I might be able to just go ahead and just string the cling wrap across this. Kind of cheap, maybe? Yeah. Either way, I need tape. Hello! I will try my best to keep up with everybody in the chat. I do apologize, it takes me a little bit. Oh, sorry, let me fix the focus on this one camera. Keep forgetting to deactivate that every time I bring it up. I might go ahead and actually switch some of these cameras around just so it's easy for you guys to see what I'm doing. Because right now you can't really see. Let's see. This one over here. You are just not wanting to stay, are you? Oh, I actually attached something. Oops. Also, let me know if at any point the stream drops, so that way I can fix it. Okay, I think we're good now. We'll keep the big wide one as the pupper screen, I guess. And don't worry, he's got water back there and everything too. Just working himself up. Yeah, you're working yourself up. It's warm in here, and you're working yourself up. You're making poor decisions. Poor decisions as a puppers. Rune, watch out. Pat. Calm. Calm. We'll get Rune. telling Ruin to go lay down because he's the wussy one. So he doesn't like all these loud noises as much. I might actually go ahead and put him to bed. And he'll often run in the direction he shouldn't run and then knock something over. And it leaves me having to clean it up. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Bring it over there. Get your toy. Get your toy. Okay, go lay down. Go boy. By the way, my palm is really smart. So I've actually been able to teach him to pick up a toy and bring it to another area. It's in a spot that's going to make you trip over it. Well, my fluffy one here, he's just over a year old now, and I've had him since he was 3 months old. And my Chihuahua is now going on 6 years old, and I've had him since he was 1. So I think 6 years old. Going on 7 years old. My goodness, he's getting old. Why you get so old, Wiggle? Out pretty good, just not even worrying about stuffing this. I thought I was going to have to, but I guess not. I know the fur is going to do a lot to bulk out this body form. That's why I'm not trying to go too much with it. Well, I know I'm going to kick this out a bit more, so I'm going to take a piece of foam and kind of push it in this hip area to push it out. Let's see what I got. Yeah, it's huge. My original photo that I had on YouTube for this live stream was me just kind of sitting here on my shoulder over top of the wolf shape. But yeah, it's, I mean, I'm sitting down and you see that this thing is at head level with me. It's a huge puppet. She wanted a pretty darn close to life-size puppet. As far as a direwolf goes, not a real wolf. I keep putting my duct tape down, I keep losing it.
What do you want when you go on vacation? How about adventure or just relaxation? You might want an edge where your mind grows wings, or maybe a place to see spectacular things. How about a road?
Don't listen to this commercial, it's a lie.
Music and art into your...
Oklahoma's not that great. Hey, Stormakima. I can't show all the details of the puppet because right now the head's kind of locked in place and that's where most of the mechanics are. But when this thing is done, it's going to have a snarling mechanic, opening and closing jaw. It's got LED eyes, and the ears will actually be able to be pulled and make it look angry. But it's going to have all these mechanics controlled by one hand, so your hand will slip into the neck here and go into the shoulder area, and you'll be able to control everything with one hand. The rest of the puppet is pretty much just dummy. It's going to have posable joints, but it's not going to be something that can be. I guess if you really wanted to, you could put a pole on it and control it with a wire, but it's not really designed for that. It's just to add some extra life to the body. Actually, this is way different than what I did for the Trico. The only similarity to it is the fact that I have a wire supporting it, and I have, I mean, even the Tricos, I didn't have elastic, I had spring mechanisms for it. So I had to completely, like, reconstruct a way to make the ears move. Because the Trico ears are very flat, so it's very easy just to do a pull down in order to make it look like it's going back, but for an actual wolf ear, you need to have 2 points of movement. You need to have the up and down on the top of the ear, and you also need the slide. And that's what gives it the angry look. And I couldn't, at the time I didn't know how to do that with the Tricos, so I did something much more simple, which was really just a tie here that just pulled it down, and that was all the Trico ears did. They just pulled down. So this one has a double pivot motion. Yeah, I had to do so much research to get this to figure this out, and I'm happy that I did because I tried using the Trico method on the wolf and it just didn't look right. The ears, when they fold down, they go forward, and that's not how a canine's ears moves. So that's why this one's still kind of work in progress, because it took me a while to get that all figured out. Complicated, I will admit to that. I could have done this much more simple, but then it wouldn't have had the natural movement that I want to have in this puppet by, you know, building out all these shapes and, you know, putting all these joints. It's going to look so much better. You're not going to get these weird wobbly legs. And like I was saying earlier, I'm going to put a lot of structure into these legs. They're not going to just be Ava foam. I'm actually going to use this PVC board material behind me in order to build the bones, and then build the shapes of Ava foam on top of that, and then put the muscle, which is going to be the cushion foam. It'll be worth it in the end because I'm trying to make it so this whole thing's going to last and it's not going to have any faulty points to it, and that's a reason why it's going to be a lot more complicated for the moment to do all this.
Luckily, you've got Grammarly on your side. Try the browser extension to improve your everyday writing anywhere on the web. For longer, important documents, there's the online editor. And when you're writing on your phone, the Grammarly keyboard makes sure that what you type is actually application is simple and free. Visit Grammarly.com today.
I keep grabbing the new ones, and I have this one I'm still using. I will need to probably put some paper in here, I think, just to give it a little bit more shape. Because it's starting to kind of pucker in right here. The best way to go in here, right here. Kind of looks like weird squiggly intestines in a way. What do I do with it? Yes, there's a commission actually for Storm Akima there on the top of the chat. Thank you. What? You know, just at Home Depot, and did I remember to go and look for 3-inch duct tape? Nope. That would have been a lot faster of this process. You know what? I'm going to probably move this one camera here more off the side. See if I got the length. Going for a little ride right here. I think that's good. Is that good? Hopefully I'm not going to be too much in the way myself. Okay. They're going to be kind of limp arms and legs. So the legs going to be really, really stiff so she can actually position them to how she wants. The front arms are going to be a little bit more flexible, so when her arm raises up and down that they'll move, but there's not going to be any rods involved. It's just going to be pretty much a puppet that kind of sits in the couch with her, and she'll, you know, do all the puppeting for mostly the head. The body is just here to look good. It's not really meant to do much action, to say. Originally, we were just going to make a head and a torso, and the fabric just tapered off. So it looked like the wolf was kind of like leaning over the back of a couch, but it wasn't going to have a full body. And then I said, hey, let's just go ahead and make it a full body. So that's what happened with it. Get out. Oh, that stuff's fighting me. It's so smelly. Oh, that thing's dead. Next. I'm really hoping that sometime in the future you possibly bring this to like a convention or something if you ever go back again.
Check out my album El Mal Querer in the new YouTube music app.
Never call me play. I saw every myself.
Yeah, if I had more time with this, I would love to do, like, more of the legs, but I'm kind of limited on how much I can do. And I don't want to go too far into this and then not have enough time to finish the project on the deadline. But I think I've definitely done enough new techniques with this one project to be satisfied, honestly. I've been fine. Been busting my butt, but I'm fine.
There's no such thing as a perfect writer. This is why I use Grammarly.
If I'm putting commas in the wrong places, that can shift my credibility and ability to influence and persuade others.
It helped me become a better writer and not be so afraid to share.
English is my second language, but I use Grammarly pretty much every time I type on my computer.
And to make a little edit here, bunching up weird.
It doesn't just correct me, but it teaches me.
I have the peace of mind that at the end it's gonna be fine.
Straighten out. Actually, yes, this is the first major puppet that I've made. This is the first full body puppet build. The only thing I've done close to this has been my quad suits. My toothless quad suit had a little bit of puppetry in it, but nothing that I could actually control. I could actually pivot the head to go back and forth and bob to make it go up and down like this, but all that was based on counterbalance on the neck joint. I was trying to make it so I could actually control the head with my own head inside of the quad suit, but sadly, I ran out of time for that project as well, and I couldn't figure it out. I didn't have the knowledge I do now, and that flopped. I mean, it still performs really, really well, but it didn't get as much. I didn't get to do as much with it that I wanted to. Rookie, stay out of trouble. There's a skunk in the area right now, so the dogs are confused because they smell it. I don't have the AC on right now, huh? It'd be even worse. Okay. Alright, now I've got the belly taped up. So I'm going to try and draw out here where I want that foam to come and attach to it. And feel out where the existing framework is. Actually, I'm not realizing that I want to continue this all the way to the leg section. So I can close this area off. And try and shift this foam up in here so I can continue this along. Okay. For a second so I can tape. Please remember, I'm not cranky. I just can't see all that well. I can't see text from a distance very well. I should be wearing glasses. I don't know where they are. I lost them somewhere. But I did my best to blow up the chat so I can see from a distance. So if I make it like a frowny face, it's because I'm trying to read. Actually, the person who got the toothless quad had it sent to, I think, New York to somebody that had there, and then they just drove over and picked it up that way. They saved money. Better not steal his chewy. I will kick your little chihuahua butt. Okay. Hello. Okay, I'm gonna try to show you what I did here. Sadly, I am a little limited on the length of this cord because it's all tangled up amongst all the wires. Yeah, I have no way of detangling this, but I'll try to show you what I did. Okay, so here I'm trying to show you all the taping that I did for the stomach area, going all the way up to the butt. That's going to all be cushion foam to make that area squishy. So that's the next thing I'll be working on, is getting this patterned and transferring this to the cushion foam and then hot gluing it to the body.
Spectacular things. How about a road where you can get your kicks? Throw music and art into your bag of trips. This is the land of wonders, far and wide. When you're in Oklahoma, just enjoy the ride. Visit travelok.com and explore. Come see for you.
Stop talking about Oklahoma. It's not that great. Okay, I'm going to try to behave tonight and only work for another 2 hours max. That's information that I will not have off the top of my head. You might be able to fit a lower canine jaw set into the bottom, but I don't know if you can do an upper. That's nothing. That pattern's not too big. I know it is going to be a big pattern when I have to do the entire fur pattern for this thing. That's going to be a big pattern. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? You want attention? Little monster. Too fluffy. Yeah, that's not. Over there. Good boy. Over there. Okay. I got this all drawn out now, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of rip it off. It's pretty easy to see what everything is. And then all the guts are going to spill out. It will not be restrained anymore. It stayed in place pretty good. Oh, it stayed in place because that one piece of foam was in there. Otherwise it would have fallen out. Hey, You do not play when this is here. Or you get hurt. Okay. We're just more moving around again.
In many places, to many people. Grammarly provides suggestions based on what you're writing and where you're writing it. Formal documents give formal feedback, while social media posts or text messages get a more casual treatment. After all, an email to a client shouldn't sound like a text to your best friend, and a post on your blog shouldn't sound like an academic essay. You can even customize Grammarly suggestions to suit your goals.
There we go.
Whether you're aiming for speed
Okay.
or entertain, writing is part of your personal communication. You need a writing assistant that can keep up on all devices,
Don't need this right now.
and popular writing platforms. And for all your writing goals. Interestingly, you can find the secrets of the world's best writers at your fingertips anytime you need them. Do you need to give it a try? Installation is simple and free. Visit
Over there. Whoop. That's something else I gotta do. I gotta go to Joann's and get some corset boning, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's called. Don't you be eating cardboard. Okay. Squishy belly. Yeah, you might have to make your own. We do sell some teeth online, so you can buy teeth, like the actual just teeth, and then build the gums yourself. You can use a whole slew of different materials. You can use paper clay, you can epoxy sculpt, you can use foam, you can make a squishy jaw set and cover it in spandex. I mean, there's a lot of different options. All depends if you want something that's realistic and like almost gory like, or if you want something that's more like toony. You can also sculpt your own teeth too using epoxy sculpt or Sculpey clay. Just the Sculpey clay might chip over time. It's more fragile material. Okay, good night. This stream is being recorded, so if you want to come back and watch us another time, you can. I probably won't be streaming again until Friday. I have to work late on Thursday. right, Brookie, you kill that toy. Oh yeah, Plastimake is really good too. I didn't know if everybody has access to that material. I haven't actually looked to see what stores sell nowadays. I usually buy all my stuff online. Okay. So, only part of this is actually going to be joining the other side. It's going to be the base of the belly. So I'm going to make some little tabs here so I can have something to line up. Wow, this thing still came apart. That is so annoying. By the way, for those who didn't come to my last stream, I super glued this thing together so I didn't have to worry about it coming apart. And it still came apart. So now I'm going to actually go and buy some new screws or something. Because I don't really have anything else to like get this thing to stay together. I was so excited to get this little like nubby thing. This little thing to help me match up my little hash mark things. But it's been nothing but a pain whenever it's not working. I need this one little part because it actually is what lines everything up. I'm just going to have to like do it one little piece at a time. It's probably because I'm doing this on duct tape. But still, it shouldn't come apart that easily. Well, at least that's all I have to do with that. Piece of crap. Okay, I'm gonna bring this down a bit. I'm using the corset bonding on the neck section to give it flexibility. So I'll be designing a pattern and doing the fabric part, which I can do at any point, I guess, and then add the bonding to it to give it structure, and then I can put the fur on top of it, and because your arm's going to be going inside. But that's the only section that I'm going to be using that material for. So I want to keep that neck open. Thank you. I just washed my hair because it looked like absolute poop earlier. I usually have hat hair all the time because I'm always wearing a hat while I'm at work to keep my hair out of my face. So it gets really like oily looking. I hate it. I was like, I don't feel like wearing a hat tonight, so I'm gonna go wash my hair real quick so it doesn't look like poop. Yeah, it does match my shirt, doesn't it? Trust me, that was not intentional. Just what I had on hand. Those were my work shirts, were the ones I don't care about, so that's why it's like that. I don't like wearing hair clips, they actually hurt my head. And if I wear like little things that go in your hair that go behind your ears, that also hurts right behind my ears. and it tends to slide down a lot because of how much I'm looking down. You know, I realize I probably could like save myself a lot of trouble and just put the two halves together. I'm gonna redraw this. Because you can have a round tummy. Will be one less thing I have to glue. Because this is completely flat, and so right there it tapers up. Hey, anybody that has a drive to do art can get up to my level, no problem. It's not just talent, it's just sheer will to keep learning. And it's really is learning, practicing, failing a lot, and to keep trying at it. But you need to have that desire to learn, to want to know more, and to want to experiment and try new things, and not be afraid to fail. It's really what it is. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's going to happen. It's a part of the learning process. And when you sit there and you struggle with something and then you finally get it, it is the most rewarding feeling. Be like, oh my god, I just did this. After all this time, all this literally blood, sweat, and tears. And you're like, I got it to work. So worth it. We sell circle bases on dreamvisioncreations.com. There's a couple of makers out there now that do circle heads. I can't think of them off the top of my head though. It looks like a giant sea flap.
Some like it quiet, some
Stop it, Oklahoma. Stop. It's not that cool. I'm gonna say it every time that commercial comes up. I know, I've been to Oklahoma. It's a state just above mine. It's even more desert than Texas is. You have to leave out tornadoes. Yep, that's very true. So, I'm trying to think of the quote for the guy who invented the light bulb. Like, he figured out like 5,000 ways on how to not make a light bulb before he finally was able to make one. Hello! Hopefully you live in a safe part of Oklahoma. Quote unquote safe. Okay, so here's the belly pattern. Slowly but surely I'm just gathering this pile of duct tape patterns that I'm probably never going to use again. But if I hold on to the patterns, I could just like make another one. I'd have all the patterns to make a wolf puppet. It's been really wet down here too. We've had some really nasty morning storms. Like there was one that hit this morning like 5 a.m. where I am. And the wind was blowing so hard, I was worried that the shingles would start getting blown off our roof. Like my phone was like blowing up with alerts saying, warning, high winds, warning, severe thunderstorm, warning, high lightning. And it's like, oh my goodness. All I want to do is sleep, world. Just let me sleep. Might have to put a new blade in because this blade's been kind of dulled down from the L200. So it's not cutting the cushion foam as easily as it should. It's just sliced through butter. That's giving me a little resistance. That's okay, these cuts don't have to be perfect, because I know I'm going to have to make edits to this anyways. Hey, here's the foam. Flat, flat. Was I smart and plugged in the hot glue gun? Yes. Oh my gosh, there it is again. There it is again. This commercial. Why, YouTube? Why? Why is it so popular? What are you trying to say to me? I don't want to go. Oh. Showing a loading screen for mine for some reason. It says the stream's still going, but I want the I'm going to reload my page. Give me a second. Okay, is it working all right for everybody now? Yeah, I just reloaded my page and it looks like it's working now. Okay. Okay, cool. I got paused everything. I'm like, oh, it froze. But it's saying my stream health everywhere is good. So I don't know what happened with that. It doesn't show a drop anywhere. Weird. Okay, as long as it's good now. I will go ahead and continue working. Which now is just me gluing this section together. I might actually put a split in this. Just so it's easier for it to curve. Right now, things will have a very round belly if I don't. Hello. another line right here. Or actually right here. That's better. It's just getting a little bit more give, so it's easier for me to kind of curve it around. Otherwise, it's going to fight me a lot. No, I don't have any. I don't know any crazy people like that that don't know what a tornado is. I'm sure if I still lived in New Hampshire, people wouldn't know what tornadoes are up there because so much mountains. Like, I didn't know to fear tornadoes very much until I started living down in this area. I mean, I lived in Maryland before this, and we had tornadoes, but it was very rare. In fact, I lived in an apartment complex. Oh, go away, ad. I lived in an apartment complex, and my window to my apartment was facing the east side, which is the side that we would never get any storms from. All the storms would come from the west. So one day, as we're, watching the Weather Channel and we're seeing there's this nasty storm that's going to hit us, I start noticing leaves hitting up against the window. And I'm like, well, that's weird. That never happens. End up finding out that a microburst came down from the clouds, which is essentially has the circulation of a tornado. And it ended up taking off the tops of trees just south of us. Like, the storm went actually like southeast, and it turned into a tornado shortly after at the airport. And I'm like, oh my god. A tornado started forming next to our apartment. And we were oblivious to the danger. Like, that's scary. It's really scary if you think about it. Okay, where are my glue sticks? Those are my squishy glue sticks. Where are my normal glue sticks? Those are squishy. Oh, what do I do with them? Well, once I get these 3 sections glued up, I'm gonna actually start attaching this to the body. I'm going to actually re-glue this one spot in the back here because there's too much tension. Put that together. Ow. 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 I do not miss working with hot glue. I will take barge any day. All the burning fingertips. Well, actually, I'm just gonna squeeze this between my thighs. Don't mind me. It's kind of gonna be a combination of both. It's not gonna have a person in it, but a lot of the techniques I'm using are kind of a mixture between quad suit builds and traditional puppetry. But then again, it's not really what I would consider traditional puppetry because there's a lot of aspects of this that are very much used in like animatronics, even though I'm not going to have servos or anything like that in the puppet body. It has, you know, actual, you know, joints to it, to all the arms and legs. It's got a really stiff structured center body. It's hollow with the use of L200 for the torso and back. And then I'm using cushion foam to build out the belly area to keep it soft. So I'm actually putting a lot more work in this than I probably should, honestly. But I want it to be, like, authentic, so when somebody is touching this thing, they think it's a real wolf. Like, I want it to feel like it's got the muscle structure under it, and it's got the bone structure there. Because I'm anal like that sometimes when I'm building stuff. Okay. So this section's glued now. Duct tape. Useful more than one way. You know, everybody's like considering to be like that. I guess it has some inspiration from Lion King. I didn't really actually look at their puppets too much, to be honest. But yeah, I guess it's kind of similar to that. But this one, you're not going to have, like, the legs are not going to be puppeted. They're going to be kind of stationary, but you can pose them in different ways. So the puppet looks like it has more life, and that's the reason why I'm making sure, like, the joints are in the right place and stuff. So when you move an arm or you move a leg, it looks like it's all attached to something. It's not just dangling. So I'm going to be using bolts, nuts and bolts, washers to actually connect the different joints together. And I want to add tension to them depending on what they are. Like the front arms are going to be like more flimsy. So when the puppeteer is moving the head and torso of the body, the arms will move. And they have weight to them on the feet, so they'll stay in place. But then the back legs are going to be more stiff. So they can actually hold up the back end. So that's why I said it's kind of like a combination of different things. Okay, I'm going to try taping this here so I can go ahead and start working on the other side. It was also kind of a way for me to experiment with different techniques of building. Yeah, this is not gonna want to stay. I have to actually hold this because I want to implement these different designs that I'm trying in future costumes. They're not gonna be your stationary, like your standard fursuit. This is gonna be like large costumes. Like dragons. Beyblades isn't taking too long to actually cool down, so I shouldn't have to hold this for too much longer. That's okay. I mean, a lot of times inspiration comes from something that already exists. I mean, a lot of what I learned is from things that already exist. It's just I implemented them in a different way than what the original construction was for. Okay, that side's done. Still looks like a giant sea flap flap. Yes, sea pancake. They're both good terms. Or Ciara and I have always called them sea flap flaps. Because they make flap 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 noises. Especially whenever they want to eat food at an aquarium. Hey, I actually got my friend a sea pancake pin. So it's a stingray, it's in the coloration of a pancake with a slice of butter on it that's melting. And they call them the sea pancakes. The limited edition pin. I was happy I was able to get her one. That's freaking cute. Are you referring to the Walking with Dinosaur style dragons? for the boycott toothless quad suit that DreamWorks owns. Wonder where they got the idea from. There's a Broadway one? Because, I mean, I saw the giant animatronic ones that they use are the same creators of Walking with Dinosaurs, and that toothless, like, what they did with the eyes and the mouth and all the things, and it was just Uncanny Valley. Because they had one that was on, they had a hero one that was on the ground that had a animatronic rig on the back end of it, and then they had another one that was up in the air. And when I went to go see the show, my one that was up in the air had a stroke. So it was flying in the air with his head cocked to the side and his mouth gaping open and like semi-sagging down. And it was just limp while the other dragon's wings were flapping and stuff like that. And they had to completely edit the show because of that animatronic, like, derping. So at the end of the show, when they're essentially fighting the Red Queen, they end up using the hero animatronic on the ground for a scene where there's a giant dragon head popping out of the wall, and there are screens up on the wall of the dragon flying towards you, and then here is Toothless on the ground facing it, jumping at it, and then freaking Hiccup flying through the air, sword fighting this dragon like he's a freaking pixie. And I'm like, what the fudge is going on? Oh my god, why couldn't you just give me the stroke dragon instead and make more sense? I paid for this. So yeah, that was my experience. It was a really bad time in general. My phone got stolen and my iPod on the airplane. Some kid next to me stole them out of my bag when I was taking a nap. So I had no way to contact my mom at the airport. I was freaking out. And then my grandma, like, was really hungry when we first got there when we were late already to the show. So I ended up missing the first half of the show because she didn't want to eat dinner when everybody else was eating dinner. So that made us late. And then I finally get into the show and find my seats and I get to watch the show, and then shortly after, the flying Toothless had a stroke. And I'm like, oh my god, yes, Hiccup turned into Peter Pan. It was so bad. It was so bad. I was upset. I'm not gonna lie. I was really upset. Like, I lived in Texas at the time, and I flew all the way up to Pennsylvania, or to the Philly airport to go to the show, and then to have that happen. I was upset. Okay, so I need to cut all of this at an angle. It was so bad. Yes, puppets have far fewer problems than animatronics do, because you have the electronics that come into play as well. And that's the reason why I want to stay away from animatronics for now. By the way, welcome to the stream, Dragon Soup. Okay, I'm going to reposition the cameras again, because Now I'm going to be doing things on the actual body. There we go. Okay, because I'm going to be like going back and forth a lot here from the table to the puppet. What? There's a Jurassic World show? I missed this. How big is the wolf gonna be? It's gonna be freaking huge. Like, almost exactly Direwolf sized puppet. I mean, this is my hand on the head. Don't you collapse on me, stop that. Oh, that's much better. Okay. Soon, I'm going to have to actually take my puppet off of the armature that's actually holding this all up right now. Because it's going to actually just collapse on its own soon. And then I'm going to actually create a PVC pipe holding mechanism for it. Just need to taper in this area a little bit more. The head is actually all constructed out of L200 Ava foam. So the head's made out of L200, and I have the torso and hip slash back of the butt made out of L200 as well. There's just different ones. Like this is Puzzle Mat. This is actual Ava foam from a cosplay distributor. And then I'm using cushion foam to create the belly, the soft belly. It's going to have a squishy belly. It's going to be awesome. But I'm very, very close to the point of really needing to take this thing apart. Because right now I've got like a split on the torso. And it's getting more and more challenging to actually work on this thing as it's all together. So I'm going to actually take the head off. And since I'm taking the head off, I can actually show you the mechanics of the head. Because I wasn't able to do that before. Okay. So, pretty much with this head, it's supposed to be controlled with one hand. So, I don't have a handle in it quite yet, and I'm still working out the placement of everything. But with the mechanics, it's got a snarl. Lifts up. And the mouth moves. I completely sculpted out the mouth all from scratch. So it's actually Ava foam that's been sculpted. And then I used some of the Ava putty to create the gum lines. All the teeth are individually sculpted as well from epoxy sculpt. And the tongue is actually Ava foam as well to help keep the weight down. So you can kind of like mechanize it I haven't actually messed with this thing in a while, so I'm a little, like, rusty. And there's also an LED light in here, which is in the way. So there are LEDs in the eyes to help brighten them up. I'm gonna let the LED thing dangle, I can actually get in here easier. So I was doing some, like, I think I was holding it with my right hand. Yeah, I was holding it with my right hand. Right now, the mechanics for Snarl kind of in the way of the jaw. That's pretty much the mechanics for the head. The ears are going to have a pull right here, and it's going to actually pull the ears back to get them to go into their angry mode position. And they spring back into place. But yeah, that's the mechanics for the head. I'm going to set the head aside so it doesn't get injured. I'll actually put it right here on top of the computer. That'll be safe. Okay. I'm going to shift the butt. I'm going to actually attach this to the table. This worked out last time really good. Keeping it from falling. Okay. That helps a lot too now because I doesn't have the pressure of the head trying to fight with me. Alright, so I'm going to use a fudge ton of pins and I'm going to start pinning this thing on. Actually debating trying to use barge cement on this instead of hot glue. Might work better. I really haven't used barge on cushion foam yet, so I'm not sure how that will react. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. Everything seems to be lining up all right. I'm just wondering if I need to taper this a bit more on the chest area. It's kind of hard to tell because I can't wrap it all the way around just yet. Actually, no, I think I got the taper just right. Right in there. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I've only ever used it on, I just got rid of a commercial. Come on, skip ads. I've only ever used it on my expanding foam, attaching my toes to my feet. So I did notice that it took like about 3 layers of glue on the actual the cast foam, while with the Ava foam it took 1 layer. So that was a pain in the butt. So yeah, I'll just stick with hot glue then. I just have a limited cord on here, so I'm going to try to do my best to actually make it so you guys can see what I'm doing. I do apologize, that's a little bit of awkward angle. Everything. I'm trying my best to adjust so you guys can see. Okay, so I've got this whole area here pinned. That's about all I can glue right now while it's still attached to the armature. So after I glue this, I will be removing the entire torso from the armature, and then I have to actually barge up the chest cavity and then finish doing the belly. The only problem with this is I gotta actually put the insert in for this hip joint because I've got nothing stabilizing the back end right now. So I'm going to have to put that in before I finish the belly, because otherwise I won't be able to get in there. Unless I cut the belly open. I don't want to be splitting it open like a shark. A little loud. Just a little. Okay, pin's out of the way, that'd be bad. Let's adjust my nozzle here. Having it at this angle is a little difficult. Here we go. Who's got a soft belly? These are my dogs pop up, be like, you talking to me? Oh yeah, I forgot about the spray foam glue. Yeah, I used to use that. I did that a whole bunch for my Godzilla build. I forgot about that. The only reason I'm hesitant to use that or barge right now is because my dogs are in here. So, that and also it's really hard to control it. Like, it's really good for sticking big pieces together that haven't been, like, shaped yet. But for doing precision work like this, I think the hot glue would probably be better. It's actually working really good. I'm not having to hold this for too long. Oh no, the hubby's sick. Yeah, they're gonna be pretty fumey stuff. Yeah, I had to take the head off. It was causing a lot of problems. Because I'm about to actually take this thing completely off of the structure. I am using a hot glue brand that's actually something I buy online in bulk. And I think it's called Tough Stuff or Tough Stick or something like that. Or pretty sure it's called Tough Stuff. But it's a special hot glue that works really, really well. It hardens faster, and it's actually specially designed for like plastics, metals, woods. But yeah, it doesn't take very long for it to actually start to cool down, but it does melt super hot. Like it's definitely a high temp type hot glue. But I also have this all pinned, so it also helps because I'm putting pressure on where the connections are. So this section here is all glued now. I'll start working my way down the hip. It also helps too is that I have a flat tip hot glue gun, so it disperses the hot glue a lot more even, so it doesn't get too clumpy. I actually have to unplug it, so I can't reach. Okay, so I'm going to wait for that to finish cooling down, and then when that's cooled, I'm going to remove this entire thing from the torso. Yeah, it's pretty expensive, but it does work. I use 74 more than I use, or is it 77? Yeah, I use 74. Yeah. This is the stuff I use, 74. A lot of times for my big foam projects. And then I use 77 for large areas. And just do a very light coat, like for example, if I'm doing like an ear, and I'll do a quick spray of that, and I'll lay the fabric out, and it makes it nice and smooth. It is, it's good stuff. I mean, they use it to make couches. I think this hip section's good now. Okay. Yep. Alright, time to remove the arm. By the way, this is what I was talking about with the arm. The movement that's in it. Yeah. I'll have to start figuring out new ways to start working on this now because I'm not going to have it on this structure anymore. get all the pins out. One right there. Come on, let go. There we go. Leave that pin in there. And just sit on top here like a saddle. There we go. Goodbye, my faithful friend. I'll still hold on to this for anytime I need to have comparisons in size. It was a good template. Goodbye. Okay. Here's a torso. Move cameras again. I have to move both of these to the same screen because now I can't. Yep.
I've had times where if I don't like eat anything or brush my teeth, I'll have like gluten for a couple hours. Disclaimer.
Okay. The tail, I'm actually going to use a technique that I've used on a lot of my fursuits, and it actually has a core to it, so it will wag really nice. Yeah, pretty much a little armor, doesn't it? Yeah, I gotta glue this torso together. So I will have to use a little bit of barge for that, because I don't trust hot glue. It's a clam. Yeah. You actually have to wait for it to get tacky. Yeah, it's a contact-based spray glue. So yeah, you gotta wait for it to be semi-dry before you start attaching it. So it's kind of like a game of trying to figure out exactly at what point you attach pieces together. Barge is the same way, but this is easy because you just attach it once it gets dry but sticky. Go away, freaking commercials. I actually had this glued together before, but then I realized I had to actually keep it separate because the I had to have it draped over my original profile thing. Okay, I want to put the glue on here, and then I'm going to take my dogs upstairs because I don't want them to be in this smell. I'm just going to quickly do this. It's actually time for them to go. Oh my goodness, it's 11 o'clock already? Where'd the time go? It was just 9. That actually makes me really sad. I was expecting to get more done than I did. Okay. Got the glue on here, so I'll be right back. I'll put my dog goes to bed and go open the door. Come on. I've got some airflow in here. Alright, I'm back. Yes, I actually grew up watching Guyver movies. I thought it was the coolest thing is the monsters and the armor. Oh, did it move? Did it move? Yeah, see, it's all sticky now, but it's no longer glossy, which means it's the perfect time to start attaching. I would love to make a Guyver armor suit. That would be so freaking cool. I mean, I thought it was amazing to do Godzilla, because again, that's another one of my childhood favorites growing up. Dad would watch a lot of Godzilla movies. Godzilla and Guyver was cool, because Guyver was cool because anybody could have that armor. Who's to say there can't be female Guyvers? Just carefully kind of squeezing this together. Make sure my marks line up. Okay, so I got the top of it. Now I'm gonna pinch it together a lot more. Steve Wang, why does that sound familiar? Is that the guy who's done all like the Guyver and Iron Man armor? Darn, now I kinda wish I could watch the video and see the armor move. Okay. Chest is glued together. Okay. Now I got to reinforce the hip area here. I want to spread this out a little bit more. Sounds awful, but so I want to do to get these joints right here to kick out more. Actually, this is reminding me of like just the build of the Ligers from Voltron. That very much looks like that's the body of the Ligers from that. Oh, so many inspirations I can't handle. Okay, hopefully this is wide enough. Scrap piece of super thick stuff that I need to get more of. I got this from... Got this piece from TNT Cosplay. And it's the ultra stiff, really thick Ava foam. I don't even know what this thickness is. I mean, if this other stuff I got is 8mm, which is basically like this thickness, then this has got to be like 12 or 15mm thick. It's like crazy thick. Oh, that was my heat gun that fell. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that's why it fell. It got somehow wrapped around my chair. Well, since I'm going to be covering this up, I don't worry about sealing anything. But yeah, this is... this stuff is stiff. It's like... I don't even know what they even compare this to. is like super thick. So this will definitely work for reinforcing this hip. No problem. I mean, even this smaller piece, like it takes a decent amount to like bend it. This also works really good too if you want to like boost up your feet, because it will keep its structure. It's so awesome! The world of materials nowadays is just blows my mind. There's just so much out there, so many new things. I wish I had access to these back when I used to cosplay all the time, because this would have solved so many of my construction problems for like giant suits and for armor and weapons. Okay. Like I really want to get back into doing cosplay more, because I do enjoy trying to bring characters to life that already exist. And just seeing people just lose their shit. Well, still too thick. I could be like all like scientific about this and actually like take measurements and stuff, but nope. I'm winging it. Hello. I'm sure if you added enough heat to it, you could actually form it into a different shape. It wouldn't be anything extravagant. You could put maybe a little bit of a curve into it, but not much more than that. Oh my goodness. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so now this way. That's better. So now I'm gonna make a little mark here so I can line this back up and I know where to put my barge. Thankfully, since this is gray, it'll make it a lot easier. There we go. Oh, are you referring to like How to Train Dragon 3 armor or 2? Because, I mean, shoot, they got like a whole different kinds of versions of armor now. I mean, the armor from the second one, but then they have 2 different kinds of armor from the third one? Oh, come on. Give me the chat. It's not the chat. Yeah, that's very true. Cosplayers nowadays don't know how good they got it. Some of them do. Some of them have been doing this longer than I have. And they're the ones that are like really super famous now and get like commissioned to do stuff for big companies. I knew a lot of cosplayers back in the day before they were really known. Like Yaya Han was one of them. Melinda Chan is another one that's really popular now. And like I met them personally way back in the day, especially X Shadow. God, I remember his first Cloud cosplay. Like he styled his hair, and bleached it blonde, which is really funny. And I thought it was the most amazing thing. And this was back in like 2003, I think, or 2. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, that armor was crazy good. For both Astrid and Hiccup. I would make either one of theirs. Everybody else's armor, though, was a little over the top, honestly. Even Eret, son of Eret's armor was kind of nuts for his beetle dragon. Okay, let's go barge this. I've actually seen somebody do that. Both Shenron and also Haku from Spirit. They actually made Chinese dragon style dragons. And they were both really cool. Like somebody actually did a skit with a Haku Spirit Away dragon. And they had 4 people controlling the body. It was actually up on sticks. It wasn't like huge and over people's bodies. It was actually a puppet on sticks. And they even had one person controlling his little tentacle whiskers. So they're making it all wavy and stuff like that. So it made it look like he's really flying through the air. And that was so cool. Like, I actually debated for a bit, because I love The Last Guardian so much, of actually making a Trico puppet, more so than actually doing costumes. And I wanted to make it like the size of a Great Dane. And I actually saved the video of somebody who made a cheetah puppet. And they did like this whole parade in some foreign country of all these L200 animals. And people were controlling them, kind of similar to what they did for the Lion King show. But bigger than that. Like, all of these puppets were huge, like animal size, and he had one up to 4 people controlling each puppet depending on what it was. And I just thought that was the coolest idea, and it could bring so much to the character, especially for a character like Trico from Last Guardian that hops around a lot and is very active, and you can't really like, you can't fully simulate that kind of movement in a costume with a human in it. So that was going to be my really big idea for a while. I still might do that at some point, but I don't know, because that'll require me to make a whole nother one. I mean, at least I can use my resin bases for it, and actually I was thinking about doing a flex foam version head and still being able to paint over it using the what is this? Flex Bond. Use this Flex Bond stuff for painting onto Ava foam, and it bonds to it. You can mix acrylic paint into it, and it actually bonds acrylic paint to the Flex Bond, and then you can paint another layer. It's clear. It looks white, but it actually dries clear. And this is what I used to actually paint the mouths and the beaks of the Trico heads that I did. CatsCon 2004. I want to say 2004. CatsCon was still in that same big multi-level hotel. It was there for the longest time. I honestly can't remember all the CatsCons. At that point, I was going to so many anime cons because I wasn't even in the furry fandom yet. I mean, I was going to AMA, CatsCon, Otakon, Anime USA, NekoCon. Yeah, those are all the ones I was going to. I was going to pretty much all my local cons. Oh, I was also going to New York Comic Con. I was up there. And then, yeah, I think that was pretty much all of them. At least all the big ones I could think of. I don't think Kilala was really good until 2005 when I rebuilt her. Because the 2003 version was Fleece. And the 2004 version, she still had no neck. And it wasn't until, I think, 2005, 2006 where I completely rebuilt her. And that's when she looked really good. And that's also when I learned that you have to, like, not stand like a human while in a quad suit. Like, I always had my back legs really kicked out far behind me, and that helped lengthen the torso / stomach area. And I basically called it the show pose, because whenever you're showing dogs, like, they tend to stretch out their back legs. I think I did see the Princess Mononoke puppets. They did the big wolf and one of the smaller wolves, and they also did the forest spirit, I think. I'm pretty much just waiting for this to dry. For some reason, this foam takes longer to dry than this foam does. I don't know why, but like, this is dry, but this is still wet. I'm actually going to pull my heat gun here and try to get this to kick faster. Hopefully my heat gun has not died and it's going to shoot lightning bolts because it fell. I'm just running out of drawer space in this garage for all of my large tools because I got too many big tools. Okay, it didn't shoot lightning. That's good. Yeah, there's an artist named Lance. I'm sure I'm going to botch his last name. I think it's Iwaga or something like that. He's actually over in California, and he's done a couple panels at Further Confusion about using these unique materials like Foss Shape, which is a heat formed fabric, L200, Cobra Cast, like a lot of thermoplastics, a lot of unique materials. The reticulated foam, and he is actually one of my big inspirations when I first started doing like cosplay, because he contacted me way back in 2004 about my quad suits. Yeah, that person. Yeah, he contacted me way back in 2004 about how I designed my quad suit back then. And he actually sent me the nicest little gift box. He sent me this little box all the way from California of all different kinds of like L200, different thicknesses, different sizes, and then also like different kinds of reticulated foam, and some of the Antron fleece, like just a lot of very unique materials I've never had my hands on before. And then also a can of NBAC spray, which is a hospital grade antibacterial spray that kills fungus and mold and anything that would possibly grow in one of these kind of costumes that you couldn't throw into the wash. And like, he was such a big, like, I don't know how to explain it other than inspiration. Like, it was just so cool to have somebody that's been making costumes for so long and to contact me and then send me this cute little care package that's really gotten me to explore in the new materials. Because I thought his costumes were the coolest thing back in the day, because he made like these really elaborate anthro creatures using you know, Antron Fleece and NFT, and they had such great movement and body shape to them. Like, he would do all the muscle structures and stuff. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, I was just mind blown by his stuff. I still am. Like, I wish he did more. You know what? I don't know. I don't remember who used body pods back then. Like, a lot of the work that he did was actually muscle work on spandex suits. Yeah, and that's why I like doing refurbs so much. Like, if I have a customer that has a costume for me and wants it to be refurbed, I'll usually take on the project because I want to make it better and make it like what I do nowadays. Okay, the butt is reinforced, so now I can actually start gluing the belly together. This little butt flap sticking out, but I might have to do some edits to this shape. But yeah, here's where I was unsure about if I had to actually keep this open or not, because I will need to make attachments. But I think what I'll end up doing actually is just cutting out some L200 here and making an open panel for my arm to stick in through the butthole. Because that'd be a lot better than having to mess with this cushion foam constantly. I'm going to start pinning this. It's not a fursuit. It's a puppet. This is just one ginormous puppet. Yeah, ever seen Ace Ventura? Like that, through the butt. No. This is not made for a person. This is just me going nuts on the project that was originally just supposed to be a wolf head and torso. Like upper front torso. And, yeah. Then I decided I wanted to actually complete it and turn it into a full body. So this is Jess taking on too much again. Welcome. This is normal. But I'm not gonna be disappointed about it. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, why did I waste that time? I won't feel that way at all. I'll be like, yes, I'm so happy I did this. A lot of people have asked me if it's going to be rod operated. I don't have any plans for the legs or arms to do anything other than just be able to be positioned in different ways. So I don't really have any plans for that yet. We weren't really supposed to go too extreme with this puppet. It was supposed just to be a head that could be puppeted with arms. With one hand and an arm. So, yeah, that's as far as it goes. The only reason there's going to be so much work done to this is because I really wanted a full body to be intact. And that also means that she can bring this puppet with her when she goes to cons and just stand somewhere with the puppet and control it, and it'll look like an actual wolf is standing there. Which is going to be pretty darn cool. Yeah, no, there's not gonna be anybody in this. I'm just making a big hollow form so it's lighter weight. Because the biggest concern I had with this whole thing is weight, and I know the head is getting up there on the weight side. So I'm actually kind of concerned with that because I made the epoxy sculpt teeth. I shouldn't have done that. I should have made the teeth out of Ava foam. But I didn't know back then how good this new Ava foam is. Because I've only ever used puzzle mat, and that's not really great for shaping or anything. That's a good looking wolf body. That's a good looking wolf. Yeah. Cool beans. Okay. Get my heat gun unplugged again because I want to drop it. It's a brand new heat gun. Don't need to lose this one too. Oy! And it's almost midnight and I'm bad. She does not, but I would not put it past her if she wanted to do more with it to actually do a cosplay. Because she was also used to be really big into cosplay. She did, Sashomaru from Inuyasha, the big dog, as a quad suit. So she was a quad suiter with me when I did my Kilala one, which I thought was really awesome. And she also did, Edward Elric cosplay with the armored arm and foot. She also did an Alphonse cosplay, I think. I know she always wanted to do them, but I don't remember whether or not she finished it. I think she did. And then I think she also recently did a Groot cosplay. A little one and a big one. Oh wait, mosquito. Ain't nobody here got time for you. Yeah, I drew a lot of inspiration on both this project and my Patrico cosplays from Warhorse, the actual play Warhorse. Because the puppets they made for that production were absolutely amazing. They were very simple in the materials that were used for them, but the methods in which they used to bring the puppets to life were just awesome. Like, that's the only way I can explain it. Were just awesome. Like, they had basic cable mechanics for most of the puppetry, but they made like pivoting points in the legs and arms. So it only required like 1 point of movement to make the whole leg move, essentially. So I really want to kind of draw upon that for this puppet. But I can tell you right now that there's a lot of things on this puppet that are not on the Warhorse puppets. Like the mouth mechanisms, the snarl mechanisms, none of that's on those puppets. All they have is the ear mechanics, which are completely different than the mechanics that I'm using, so... But I think really the only inspiration I drew from that one for this particular project was the legs. Because I really wanted to have that movement as far as, you know, the joints connecting and all being, you know, anatomically correct in that sense. Because I didn't want just to have wire through the legs and then have it bend at weird places. Not in the movie. I'm referring to the actual theatrical production. The theater production. They were I think bamboo wicker made horses. Yeah, I'm not talking about the movie, no. I'm talking about the play. Okay, good night. Let's see how long is this stream been going on for. Only 2 hours and 42 minutes. Isn't it? It's so good. Have you not seen that before? The Warhorse puppets? Yeah, I really want to like go through my YouTube video faves and actually organize it and open it up to the public, because I just have a slew of just inspirational videos on how to do different kinds of puppetry and costume builds. I could feel it could be really, really useful to the community. But right now, they're all kind of mixed in with all of my faves. And I haven't had a chance to really like sit down and organize them out. I'm also drawing a lot of inspiration from Stan Winston's School of Art video that I paid for a while back, and it was kaiju builds, and they go over building 2 different kaiju costumes from scratch. And back then when this thing was going on, they actually allowed random people that were artists to come and help them build these things. Sadly, due to actually having a job and doing my business, I wasn't able to partake in that, and I wish I could have, because that would have been so cool to get hands-on building those things. But, no, I made do with doing the live seminar so I could interact and ask questions while I was working. But, it was so cool because they made one kaiju in a pod style, so it's like this hollow big giant thing, and they went over so many different kinds of like cable mechanics and stuff for doing like the jaw mechanisms and doing like these big 3-fingered claws on the hands and 3-fingered claws on the tails, and you know, tail mechanics, and so much information. Let me just tell you, it was totally worth the money. But I have that like saved on my profile for Stan Winston School of Arts, and I've learned so much from all the different videos of how to do pod style builds. So that's the reason why I'm like really into doing this now, is because I've learned so much from their videos. And they even have some videos recently they put up about doing different kinds of puppet builds. So I really want to try to get into that as well at some point. But I haven't had any time to like just sit down and watch these videos. Like, I think I have at least 3 videos I've paid for, and I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and watch them, because I had to really sit there and focus on it, and most of the time I don't have a chance to do that and sit down and focus on something. Usually when I'm watching a movie or something, I'm still doing something in my hands. I agree, there should totally be a Spirit 2 movie, an actual good Spirit 2. I mean, they did a good job with DreamWorks, How to Train a Dragon, why can't they do it with Spirit? Yeah, the series is horrible. I watched 1 episode, I'm like, oh, this is bad. The Spirit is supposed to be a wild horse. You should not be getting, like, easily tamed by this girl that doesn't like horses. It makes no sense at all. Yeah, yeah, some of them are very, very long videos. Yeah, don't watch a Netflix series. Otherwise your childhood's gonna be crushed. What? I don't remember that. Which Cabin in the Woods? Is it the newer version or the older one? I'm guessing the newer one. I'm actually not really sure if I've watched any of the Cabin in the Woods ones. I've watched Cabin Fever and Last House on the Left. But I don't know if I've actually watched Cabin in the Woods. I want to say I've seen that scene though. I distinctly remember this. I probably have watched it, I just don't remember it. Dude, that's one thing I would love to do when I had the time. Like, after doing this build, I would love to make a life-size The Last Unicorn puppet. But I'm not sure yet how to make the horse section of the puppet move correctly without building a huge mechanism with rollers underneath of it that make the feet move, kind of like they do for Walking with Dinosaurs. And I would want to bring that to a Renaissance festival, so I don't think that would work too well. But I would love to do that. That was like one of my fave movies growing up as a kid. I watched that VHS over so many times, and I would draw The Last Unicorn everywhere. Like, I remember when I was in, I think, middle school, we got to make papier-mâché masks. So, I wanted to make The Last Unicorn. And I told my teacher that I wanted to make this unicorn, and I wanted it to be pure white. And she's like, that's boring, you should make it something different. But that's what I want to make. And she's like, no, you should spice it up, blah blah blah. Because, you know, art teachers don't support doing copyright or doing something that's already existing. So I made a rainbow unicorn, which is not what I wanted to do. But I still made the eyes in The Last Unicorn style, so meh. But yeah, after making this build, I'm definitely feeling more confident with the idea of creating that. I just gotta figure out a way that I can control the head and the body. I couldn't whitewash it afterwards because it was yarn. I used yarn for the hair and it was rainbow yarn. And a color rainbow star on it. And so gaudy. So gaudy. I hated it. The only thing I liked about it was the eyes. I don't own it anymore. It's paper mache. Okay, this is back when I was in middle school. Yeah. That was, a couple decades ago. Just say that. We'll just say that without making me feel too old. These dumb little mosquitoes. Like, they're not trying to bite me or anything, they're just falling everywhere. I'll be here working and one just like falls from the sky onto my lap. Probably because it's getting zapped by the light up there. Yeah, aren't those puppets cool? I would pull up a video and actually bring it up on the stream, but I'm sure everybody has seen them at this point. Okay. I have got the belly attached. That's a good looking belly. And this thing weighs like nothing. It looks huge, but I want to say maybe it weighs about 6 pounds. Maybe about 6 pounds. It's completely hollow. It's really cool. Wow. And just one big hollow torso. It's going to weigh a lot more once you get fur on it, though. It's the only thing that's going to stink. Well, the next things I gotta do on this sucker is I gotta actually make a plate here out of Ava foam, so I can like flatten it out. Because otherwise, when I try to sit the... Actually, I might not need to. This is pretty flat on its own. It shouldn't cause any friction problems when I attach it right here. It really just comes down to where I gotta position the arms. But yeah, I don't have to worry about really reinforcing the torso because it's keeping its shape pretty good due to the actual shape of the foam, the way I've structured it. I don't think I can really wear it as a hat. I mean, it's like I put it on my head, but it's like... Now I'm Pyramid Head. Okay, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Obviously, I gotta do some major cutting of that PVC panel in order to start building the actual, bones for the legs and stuff. And I gotta kind of do that off stream because I gotta use a circular saw to cut it all up. And I gotta do a bunch of measurements and a whole bunch of this tedious stuff that you're not gonna be interested in seeing. So when I come back to my stream on Friday or Saturday, I might do it just Saturday. I'll go ahead and already have those pieces cut out and shaped, and then all I gotta start doing is adding the Ava foam to them and the cushion foam, and literally putting them together. So adding the screws, bolts, nuts, all that kind of stuff, and just start attaching it to the body. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get to bed. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by the stream. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for updates on when my next live stream will be. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.